This is your forum. What we'd like to try and do first is give you some information about what's going on at the museum, where we're headed, and kind of a direction of why, and then talk about some of those issues and make sure that you understand those, and then ask your questions, get your comments. We've tried to react positively, and I think we have in many instances of your comments. We do appreciate the feedback. It's important that we understand exactly what the members are trying to accomplish and what they're trying to get from the AWA as part of what is their value statement that we're trying to address. A couple of announcements to get those out of the way. Here is the new review for this year. You do not have to buy another copy if you'd like. They are for sale directly across the way from here. They are in the mail. And it really looks like a great issue. Part of your membership value is you get that for being a member. So we're twofold. Part of our vision is to make sure that we are producing and preserving the stories around the history of radio and communications. This does that. But in addition, it's something to cherish and keep in your bookcase. If you'd like an extra copy, they are available directly across the way in the AWA bookstore. One item as far as the dissolution of AWA Inc. and the incorporation into AWA, the Antique Wireless Association, which will be the surviving member or corporation. The status of that has been approved by the Attorney General of the State of New York. This is the process that we've been going through. It is a tremendously long and difficult process. I think last year when we were talking at this forum, we were talking about starting it. It's not done yet, and it's got a ways to go. It has been approved by a state Supreme Court justice in New York. They put that back now with requirements that we do some accounting and do some reporting back to them. Once the accounting and reporting has been done, final approval should be forthcoming on that. I wish that we could say it was done. I'd like to have that behind us, but it's not yet done. We'll get there. So at this point, there's a lot going on in the museum. I hope you had a chance to visit us yesterday afternoon. If not, the museum itself is open on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday 2 to 4, Sunday 2 to 5. So please come out and see us. As far as things that are going on in the museum, Bruce?
Every year that we have the progress moving toward what's going to be described as our final destination, which is the new museum site. The preparation, it is an enormous effort. Ron Roach and his team of people, Ron is the organizer that makes sure everything gets moved, gets placed, gets preserved where we can find it, hopefully. But the annex that people can remember going and visiting almost is no more. It's basically being emptied out as a shell. It has been sold to the town. The town has graciously given us an extension. We were apt to be out by the 1st of June. That has been extended to the end of October. Thank you. But it's in progress, so that will be completed soon. Ron may talk here in a few minutes about what he's doing in the buildings. But when we talk about the museum, it's a collection of places. It's the actual museum in the Academy building. It's the media center that you'll see on the drawings here. It is also the repair center and storage building right now that's behind the media center. So right now there's a collection of buildings that we're taking care of. We refer to that as the museum as a whole. Eventually it will be a complex, and the complex is shown on these diagrams, and I'm sure Bob will talk about them. We're progressing very well. Hopefully after everything is moved into storage, it'll be there for approximately 3 years until the museum proper is completed, and then the design of display of artifacts will move into the new museum itself. I mean, that's the timetable we would like to stay on, and Bob is going to talk about some components of how we get there. But as far as the artifacts, many of the artifacts other than what's in the museum will no longer be viewed because they're in boxes packed up and labeled. waiting to go into the museum. During this period of time of storage, then we move into our planning stage of what is going to happen at the different sites within the new museum. So it's not like we get a chance to rest. It's just that the activity changes. And one of the things that I think is important for everybody to understand, there's a few people that are in the audience right now. The museum staff basically is a group of volunteers of about 25 people that show up every Tuesday, just like clockwork. They have responsibilities, they have duties that they do, and we have, I look at it this way, you can move a mountain if you take a grain at a time. We can try to take a spoonful at a time to hurry the process up. But these 25 have moved mountains. And basically, I think once we get all this put together, AWA will have a world-class, largest radio museum of its kind in the world. We have a lot of people that have volunteered to give us their time, their energy, to focus on certain aspects of the museum. So I think you will find a very impressive museum over time. But the Academy building, we're leaving static in place, so we have something to show people now during this interim period. But you can't see anything in the annex anymore. And if you go to the storage building, we call it work building, storage building, building number 3. That building, you're just going to see everything packed in, stored. And once the museum opens, that will be where the displays are actually created. Rotating displays are created. Now, one of the first displays that will be in the museum, let me think, did anybody go to the auction yesterday? Yeah, I think you did. Anyway, Larry Babcock, his wife, graciously donated a lot of really one-of-a-kind stuff. One-of-a-kind stuff to the museum itself. There will be a tribute to Larry as part of one of the opening displays when we open up the museum. Larry was the kind of guy, if you knew him, he took pictures of every conference he ever went to. He was a guy very quiet, but he would always talk and find out what was really happening, what was the history behind this. He specialized in what was developed in Buffalo. We do have a number of his things. We now have a complete World War I radio set from Curtis Jenney. Bob is working on a component of it that will be on display when the museum opens. So we have some really good things planned when the museum actually opens itself. Anyway, that's where we are.
Thanks, Bruce. One important collection did come our way just recently. The 100-year archives of the Radio Club of America are now housed at the Media Center of AWA. They've asked us to be the preservation agency for them in preserving the history of Radio Club of America. Now, if you're not familiar with that, Radio Club of America has had as its presidents and its members all the important manufacturing and development people throughout the history of radio. That is a significant connection for us. They are gracious in having provided or allow us to have the archives, and we will make it available to researchers as they want. Wow. It went right through my mind. You know, when you talk, you probably should keep your finger in one ear so it doesn't leak out the other side. Oh, anyway, changes at the AWA for us, because we're into it every day, you know, we see incremental changes. But if you haven't visited us, you'll see huge differences. One of my CEOs made an observation. If you go to turn an aircraft carrier and you're standing on the foredeck of an aircraft carrier and it's turning, you can't see it turning. That's us. If you go to the aft and look out the back, you can see the wake. That's the people that come to visit us. They see the changes going on. We don't see it every day, but they are significant. Ron, you talk about the campus development.